Can I finish my physical TBR by the end of 2025? Well, let's check this out. Just the last video I talked about 5 books I want to read by the end of the year, and so I'm going to try to see if I can get through those. This is going to be the vlog for it, so happy holidays. Sit, maybe read alongside with me, or there will be some spoilers because I will be talking about some books as I'm reading them. So let's get to it. Book number 1 out of the 5 that I hope to read will be Wayward. And this one I actually just recently was able to start. And I'm roughly about a third, starting the second third of the book. And so far, I really am enjoying this read. The first 20 pages were really rough for me to get into, but as I got further into the book and have read through the way that the 3 main characters have connected, Violet, Aletha, and Kate, and how their lives are connected and who they are and why it's important, and how witchcraft has been seen throughout like these 3 times, one being 2019, another being 1619, and another 1942. So far so interesting. There is some trigger warnings in this book, there is some heavy topics, but I really like the use of insects and birds. So next time you see me, we'll talk a little more.
What the heck, guy? Yeah, I know he did, but that doesn't give you a free pass.
2 days later. Well, a quick update. It has been roughly 2 days, and I wanted to give you a quick update before I actually start working and have my morning coffee, because that's why I'm so tired, or I'm just old. But with this, last time I checked in, I was roughly like in part 1. I think I was like roughly 100 pages or so in, and now I'm halfway or almost finished with part 2. I'm like on page 220, and I think part 3 starts at 252, so I'm like 50 pages away from part 2 finishing. And what I will tell you so far is that this book has been so anger-inducing. It's very good in the sense of like the way that 3 women's lives are structured together, and as we're finding things out, and as the characters are finding things out about each other or themselves. But then I will warn you, graphically warning, and also this is a spoiler, like it is a vlog, I'm talking about the book as I'm going, but there is CSA, a child, and it is of an adult, a cousin who like shows up, even though like the cousin had never been around before, and that was so anger-inducing and so like frustrating, because it's like words of health and reproductiveness, because then they get stuck in a situation like this, which was so anger-inducing. I really hope, because it looks like they're putting in, like the author is putting in some things to kind of like, for it to be a reason of why she used it in the book. It's not insanely graphic, but it is graphic. That is my check-in for right now. I'm exhausted, and I'm gonna make a coffee in a second. It's been 2 weeks since I last updated you on my reading challenge for the rest of the year, my 5 books I want to read before the end of the year, and I just wanted to give you a quick update because you've been seeing little vlog clips here and there, but let me tell you where I'm at. I finished The Unworthy. I also finished Wayward, and now I'm in the middle of reading How to Survive a Horror Story, and that's giving serious Clue energy, and it's very silly, so I'm really enjoying it. I need to get on it though. I haven't read that much, so I need to get on it because I have 2 more books after that to read before the end of the year. I think I can make it still. It's December 8th. A little bit of yapping. I don't know if I did. Wayward was really good. I think I gave it a 4.5 star. It was really interesting, very witchy, 3 stories that really just culminated together to give a bunch of the it's like 3 generations of witchhood, and it was very interesting to see how they all cover each other but also relate to each other, and how every chapter of the book you just unwrapped and unwrapped. There are very serious trigger warnings, so do be aware. But with The Unworthy, even worse trigger warnings, so be aware, but it's so short to the point. I love Agustina Bastercia's writing. I feel like she's incredibly written for how short her books are, and honestly, if we're gonna torture someone, we might as well do it in 200 pages or less, or not do it at all. Like, I genuinely think that 180 something is like the max, and that's why I think Agostina Bastercia does it well. Bastercia does it well because of the fact that it's short, to the point, well written. And even though there are moments where I was like, I also thought about the fact that I've been reading a lot of Warhammer books, and a lot of those deal with pain, suffering, and not a great universe, and it's a lot of the same energy, but I gave it a 3.75 star. I liked it. I'll see you guys in the next check-in. Quick update on this. I'm 12 pages in, and it is giving Clue. It is giving the most wonderful crime of the year, that one. And so I'm very, very hyped. So far, I find Miss Crystal Flowers and Mr. Scott Clay absolutely problematic. And also, I really love this. That breaks down who it is that's gonna be here. But I'm super down. I really enjoy. So far, we've seen Miss Melanie Brown's point of view, and so I'm just like, girl, the audacity to call her that hope and to be like, you're lesser. But I don't know. This gives me the most like moment. So I can't wait to keep going. We're doing introductions, so I'm gonna keep reading. Guys, so quick update on my last reading vlog of 2025. So last time you saw me, I had just started reading How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. I actually just finished it, and I'm not holding it because it is in the car and I forgot, but I wanted to at least talk about it because it's been a second since I've updated you guys. For you, probably a second. For me, a couple days. So let's talk about it. So Mallory Arnold's How to Survive a Horror Story was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It had that Clue energy. It had that kind of energy where there is this mystery. This is a wild ragtag group of people who may know each other through the industry, may had communicated with each other at some point, but really weren't that close, and were in the horror scene, and they all came for the will reading of this very, very famous horror author. And as we go through it, we start to unravel the mystery and everything as we go. And it has a lot of a horror energy, but also like Clue energy at the same time. And it's basically if Clue had a horror twist and actually got a little darker. And it was a good book. It was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. So if you have the moment or you have picked up How to Survive a Horror Story, I would say check it out. I think it's a fun Halloween read, or even I read it during the Christmas season, so I had a good time reading it. For me, I think it was roughly a 4.5 or 4.75 star read, but you know what that means now? That means that I am officially, we read Wayward, we read The Unworthy, we read How to Survive a Horror Story. So what that means is we're at our last 2 reads. And this I actually picked up last night, like I started reading it. But we are in our second to last book, so we're getting really close. Are we gonna hit it? Are we gonna hit our 5 books before the end of the year? We'll see. But The Ring. So this is our 4th read, which is Koji Suzuki, The Ring. And I am actually roughly about 48 pages in. There is about like 200 and something, like 280 pages in this book. And so I think I could read this by this week, Christmas week. But will I be able to get to Ellen Hilderbrand's The Academy? That is the goal. And so far,
with this book, it is what started it all. So far, I really like it. I know some people don't like long-winded conversational pieces. Hence, why are you listening to me? I'm long-winded. I yap too much. But please, if you are, thank you. We start in part one, which is autumn, and this happens in September 5th of 1990. And basically, a bunch of teens, two 17-year-olds and two 19-year-olds die at the same time, all of heart failure, and they're so young. And so the journalist in the book is actually asking questions and wondering why they died. They were so young. There's no reason, especially the fact that they all died around the same time. And so she's trying, this journalist is actually trying to pinpoint it and break it down. And we got to see the last moments before one of the students had passed and what they were thinking. But so far, we're going down with the journalist's point of view. And so compared to the Ring that I saw that was based in the US, which was the second movie, the first one was an actual Japanese film. Different. She was a journalist, I think, but her child saw the film because she brought it home. But this one so far, there is kind of a connection. It ends up being the journalist's niece, but yeah, the journalist is a man. I think it's because I keep thinking of the film, and so I keep thinking of it being a girl. He has a relationship with the girl who died. He goes to her room and they visit like the parents, which this book deals a lot with grief. It also deals with like the system being like, no, nothing's wrong. They all just died of heart failure. But no, like this journalist, he's actually thinking, no, it's probably deeper than this. I feel like it's deeper than this. So right now I'm at the beginning parts of it. He's still pushing forth. So I'm super excited to see what's going on. There is a little bit of that translation like mess up where I think at points they may be like translating too intensely, and I understand you don't want to take away all of what they wrote, but there are moments where it doesn't make sense because it feels like you just like translated and moved it over. But then like 90% of the book is actually pretty good so far, and I'm really interested about what's going on. So I very much will be reading this as the day goes on. Once I'm done with all the things I'm doing, I will be reading this because I loved seeing where it's coming from, and there is a sense of dread that I'm really enjoying in it, and it does have that sense of spook because it was a little spooky. Did this make sense at all? I don't know. I'm losing my mind, but I'll check back in when I read more.
Okay, so it's been quite a second since the last time you saw me, but I've done a lot. So I've been reading, like you guys knew, and I don't know if I had last told you guys about the book that I finished, but I have finished 2 more of my list. And so let's start. So the last book was How to Survive a Horror Story, book 68, which was book number 3 of our list, and I gave that a 4.25 stars, and it was How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I think it's going to become a new staple in my Halloween-esque rotation. Yes, I did read it around Christmas time. Makes no sense, but it was a really fun read, and I really enjoyed it. And then the last, which was 4 out of 5, was The Ring by Koji Suzuki. I gave that a 3.25 star, and I don't have any of those books on me because they're at my bookshelf, and I just wanted to do a really quick end to this video because it's literally the last day of the year, and I wanted to try and get this all put together and out as soon as I could. And so with The Ring, I really enjoyed it. It was really interesting because I've seen the films, and so it's really interesting to see like what's about it at all. And I have the opinion that I think that other than the movie being in Seattle, the American one, I like the movie a lot more. It has more intentional writing, story plot, and like that spooky feeling, that like unnerving feeling, uneasy feeling as you're trying to figure out why this is happening, why the video exists, and how. And I really enjoyed the story. I was really picturing it through. It makes me want to watch the Japanese version of the film because I don't think I've seen it. And if it's like the book, I'm really down because I really enjoyed it. And so it is a really good read. And so I would say do check that out. It deals, you know, with the aspect of a video and these teenagers having not watched it. They're the first deaths, like in like the American movie to a degree. But then instead, it's a journalist who's trying to, is related to one of the teenagers who passed, and when those, and he starts actually investigating it. And he has his wife and like infant or toddler daughter, and eventually they end up watching the video, and so he gets more worried, and it's very interesting. And I love the fact that it takes this like into conception of a virus per se, and they treat it as a virus, kind of like it follows. So it's honestly a really good read, and I really enjoyed the way it unravels here and there. And then it also leaves me wondering, because there is this character where I was like, I kind of don't mind you bringing him into this because he kind of sucks as a person, and that's honestly even what he says. And then at the end, we're just like, girl, does he suck, or did like were you an unreliable narrator? But I really enjoyed this story. It was really interesting. There are some triggering moments, so do be aware, but I very much enjoyed it, and I got 4 out of 5. I'm really proud of myself. Honestly, it would have been incredible if I made 5 out of 5, but I made 4 out of 5, and I think that was really good. And I also did my Anita de Montes Laughs Last. That was what I read before any of these, and I really, really loved it. So it's a 5-star book, incredible. You guys need to read it. It was so good, but I had a good time. And now I'm bringing into the new year The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand and her daughter Shelby Cunningham, I think it is. I don't have the book on me. It's by my bed. I actually am roughly about 1 chapter in, and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I kind of slowed down because it's the new year and hanging out with family and friends, and I made the executive decision that I will not force myself to finish that book. I will take my time and enjoy it, and that'll be my first book of the year. So by the time you guys see this and it's updated, it'll be the new year, so happy new year. And if anything, I really enjoyed this year of reading with you. I can't wait to, you know, enjoy this next year of 2026 and yap to you guys about journaling, reading, and everything in between. But thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys next year. Bye.